Hey guys, Greg from FactionFab. Over here at FactionFab, we really enjoy just about anything with a motor, but we really enjoy it a whole lot more with a nice exhaust sound. And the F-150 is no exception. The stock exhaust on these, well, leaves something to be desired, and tame is a little bit of an understatement. And installing a full exhaust kit, especially a quality kit, can take a big chunk out of your wallet and time. But luckily for us, the stock resonator pipe is an easily removed part, and swapping it is a perfect, inexpensive, and low-effort product choice to drastically change how your truck sounds to give you the aggressive tone that you're looking for. You will still keep the stock muffler on the truck so your eardrums can live to fight another day, but this simple Resonator Delete is going to give that exhaust a better deep and throaty growl, while also letting it really open up the top end. We designed ours to be a top quality replacement, so this will last as many miles as you can get on your truck, whether it is on or off the road. The pipe will be either a 2.5 or 3-inch diameter, depending on the model, and it is hand TIG welded to a 3/8-inch laser cut flange, all made with 304 stainless steel. We also include everything needed for the install, including a clamp, nuts and bolts, and a donut exhaust gasket. Now there are 8 different lengths and sizes for the different wheelbases and models, so we have a drop-in replacement for all the 2010 and up F-150 models, as well as the 2010-2014 Raptor. These are also 100% made in the USA using American-sourced tubing and are backed by our limited lifetime warranty. Tools for the job are pretty simple. We used an assortment of ratchets and a breaker bar with 13 and 15 millimeter sockets, a penetrating fluid, a wire brush, and a torque wrench. Before we get started, the first thing we did off the camera was to spray some penetrating fluid on the areas we'll be working, which are the bolt on the front of the resonator and all around the slip joint on the rear. We let it do its thing for 15 to 20 minutes while the exhaust cooled down before we got to the wrenching. We begin by loosening all the bolts holding the resonator in place. The rear clamp on the slip joint will use a 15 millimeter, and you will need a long socket or a wrench here. The clamp itself is tack welded to the resonator, so there's no need to completely remove it, just back off the nut so you have a gap. The front bolt will use a 13 millimeter socket. The nuts are welded to the resonator flange, so we can just undo the bolts from the front. Remove these completely and slide the engine side flange back to give you room. What we need to do is get the engine side flange of the resonator out of the line of the exhaust so we can pull the exhaust out of the slip joint. The OEM slip joint has a small twist lock dowel to hold it in place. So the first thing to focus on is getting the resonator to rotate. If you are standing at the front facing the rear of the car, the resonator will need to rotate counterclockwise and will only go a few degrees. Once you have all the hardware out, push the donut gasket onto the flange side of the resonator, then slide the clamp onto the slip joint. Start by sliding the slip joint together, and then you can tighten the clamp to keep it in place. We may still need wiggle room, so no need for full torque spec yet. Then go to the flange side and install the new bolts and nuts, both of which will require a 15 millimeter. The donut gasket will seal best with equal pressure from both sides, so tighten both bolts at the same rate by alternating back and forth until you get to the proper torque spec, which is 25 foot-pounds. Now go back to the slip joint and make sure that it is seated in as far as it will go. Tighten the clamp to 30 foot-pounds and then we're done. We also recommend to go back and re-torque these bolts after 2 heat cycles to make sure there's no movement. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and make sure you click the like button and subscribe to stay up to date on the latest FactionFab products and news. We'll see you next time.